non-fiction writers, most of you have had sessions with me and we're starting to understand how the book comes together. I want to take this moment to just remind you of two of the biggest chapters I want to see up front in your book. And I want to break them really clearly down for you. The first is the inciting incident. Call it what you want. It's that thing that grabs us and pulls us into your book. And the inciting incident, the opening chapter, the prologue, it's always personal. So it does not matter if you're telling us about how to make money, how to sell a Ferrari, how to eat like a pro. When we meet you as the author, in the beginning of the book, we want to be pulled into story, and we want it to be a singular moment. We want to meet you at that place, at that peak, the day before you had the bike crash, the day that you got the news, or before you got the news. So we don't want you to summarize your story at this point. That's the next scene. Scene number 2 I'm going to talk about. The beginning scene is a deep immersion into storytelling where you're holding the reader in one place, in that moment of time with you. When you were 19, or when you were 26, or when you were 36. But I don't want a summary of the book. Here, we're buying in, we're feeling your pain. With you in the fridge during an eating frenzy. We're standing with you, tearing your hair out with a child screaming. And we get you as an author, because that's highly important. Scene number 2, chapter number 2, call it what you will. But the next beat of a book is what I have to call the set-up chapter. And in this set-up chapter, you're setting yourself up. You're giving the reader a little bit of a roadmap of your book. You're kind of saying, this is what happened to me. This is my journey. I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to show you a few things. I may show you some lessons I've learned, but this is my stuff. All you're saying, I've walked this path for 15 years. I'm an expert in this field. I've coached 5,000 salesmen through sales courses. I've distilled the best of what I've got, and I'm going to deliver it in this book to you. Bear with me. I'm going to take you on a bit of a ramble, but you're going to get the gold if you stick with this process. 2 different tones already starting to come into the start of your book. So when we start, I don't want you to agonize over these. They're hard to write. You may come back and write them. And they're often things we do in an edit. But the first is personal, and the second is instructional, big picture of your book. And remember, in all of them, you're talking to this reader. You're saying, listen, guys, you're not going to believe this, or this is a story you've heard 1,000 times before, or don't read this if you don't want to change your life. Whatever you're saying to them. So you're building story, but you're also building a conversation with your reader that's going to continue throughout the book. And even if you're writing memoir, you can flip them around. Often that setup chapter can be your prologue, in which you just say, you set up the journey of story, be it addiction, be it redemption, be it survival of an illness. But we still want to start every book pulling the reader into the personal. So happy writing. Don't get stuck on the beginning, please. Keep moving forward.